Hi, I'm Bjork.
Jimmy, nice meeting you.
Nice to meet you.
Jimmy has been a magician since he was 6.
Well, because I was bullied in elementary school. One time I just saw this as
That was so mean. He just told me like such a deep thing. And I just nested him so hard.
Hey, you know that you stole money out of my account? That was money for my kid, heart surgery?
Why is you recording me right now? Like, you trying to...
Don't worry about why I'm recording you. I'm worried about what my money is.
Like, I begged you to take me to that concert. Why wouldn't you take me to the concert?
Because the concert is the least of my
Look,
worries
I
right
don't care
now.
about that. Like,
My
I went to
kid
the
heart
concert.
surgery is what I'm worried about right now.
Look, like,
and for you to take my
I
money
don't-
out of my account just to go to some
I
Beyonce
don't
concert, you
care.
done lost your
Like,
mind.
I don't care.
I don't care what you don't care
Your
about.
voice, like, right now.
Oh,
Why
you
don't
my money.
Ask your baby mom.
She ain't
Ask,
got
like,
nothing
get
to
out my
deal with
face.
this.
Like, get out
Nothing
my-
to deal with it. To go find
ask
me
your baby.
my
We do need to bring shame back because you ladies, here's the thing. I talk about a certain caliber of man, and these men don't want children from another man. Ma'am, do you have any children?
Yes, I do.
You have a son?
Uh-huh.
Okay, so your son makes something of himself. He becomes an attorney, a well-regarded attorney, 35 years old. You think that he should bring home a woman with 3 kids by 2 different dudes?
I think he should bring home a woman who he loves.
No. See, you didn't answer. No. You know what? I'll let you go ahead. You think he should do what?
I think he should bring home whoever he please, whoever he's happy with.
Right.
Just because a woman
Right.
doesn't have a kid doesn't mean that you're going to be happy with her.
Ma'am, where's your husband?
I've turned down 2 proposals because
How many children do you have?
I have 1 child.
Okay. Why are you so upset that I'm telling the reality that men want? Men don't want women who have children by other men, especially
I disagree,
productive,
because a lot of men
competitive,
want men.
excuse me, especially productive, competitive, successful men. Higher value men choose overwhelmingly to start their own families. See, what you have a problem with, ma'am, is men finally saying what men have always thought. If you don't want the downsides or consequences that come along with being a single mother.
Physicist, mathematician, and philosopher Blaise Pascal once said, "The only shame is to have none." In today's day and age, the only figure that fits such a description is the Western woman. All the way from baby mamas to blue-haired zealots to run-of-the-mill club hoppers, these chicks walk around as if self-awareness and the lessons one learns from it should only apply to those with something hanging between their legs. To them, women are born with some kind of divine firewall, allowing them to do anything they'd like, with no just consequence. And there's a reason for this. When a woman makes an egregious error, all institutions are wired to summon the cavalry, giving them the support they desire to keep the fun going on their way to the wall. Their drug of choice is denial, and most governments and corporations go out of their way to give them the prescription before they're confronted with the actual problem. How do we know this? Well, plenty have journeyed out into the streets like Steve Irwin leaped into the wild with a microphone in hand. Whether it be on podcasts or freeform interviews, this is the product of female empowerment that they never wanted us to see. Before we go any deeper into this video, let me share the comment of the day real quick. Shout out to Megabytes, who got 3 top comments across the board, but this one stuck out the most to me. He said, "Economically viable men are choosing not to get married because they want to maintain their economic viability." Now that's what decades of collective experience for men have culminated into. That's the smart choice, y'all. Preach that. So please, don't forget to reach out to my email to claim your $5. As always, guys, I'll be picking 1 comment from each video. Could be the funniest, could be the most liked, or just one that stuck out to me. So don't forget to leave a comment, and you could be our very next winner. So be sure to hit that like and sub button too, as the support helps out a ton, y'all. So now let's get right back to the video.
Embrace your masculinity.
So when girls say yes, they mean yes. but when they say yes, they also mean no. When they say no, they sometimes mean no, but they sometimes also mean yes.
Yes.
Or it could be a maybe, but maybe is a yes. Yes, so maybe also means yes.
Yeah.
Who is better at communication, men or women?
Women.
Women are better at communication.
Women, for sure.
If men are worse at communication, why do so many women expect men to read their body language rather than just be direct?
Oh my God. I don't know.
Are men expected to be mind readers?
Yes.
Is there a difference between what women say that they want in a relationship and what they actually respond to?
Absolutely.
If so, how are women better at communication?
We're not.
But you just said that they were.
I lied. Clearly, I'm not communicating well. Duh.
Yeah, we knew you were lying. Men just didn't have the proper equipment early on to present the evidence as clearly as we do now. Men, when the movement was born, these clips shown every day on our channel were shocking for most. But now, it's been a while since 1997. Social media isn't a baby anymore, and the amount of content verifying that women are devoid of shame and utility could pack every Western library to the brim if printed. Terabytes of data swirl around the internet daily, dismantling the Western lie that women have the slightest idea of what's going on in their own minds, let alone what is required of them to keep civilization afloat. What would make it all the more maddening, more than the initial wide release, was the response. This 2-decade documentation of Western decline proved two things at the same exact time. One, the modern woman in no way resembles reliable femininity. And number two, even when they see the evidence to prove it, they're so far gone that there's no way to bring them back. It's the same set of symptoms that have led women to start using the term ick to describe anything under the sun. Here's a viral example.
Sometimes a woman can talk her out of a relationship. You can talk. We do that.
Yes,
we will talk.
I'm gonna say something, and this might ruffle little feathers. I don't think just being a good man is enough to stay in a relationship with them.
But when I say a good man, I mean like he's good. That means all around. That means himself, spiritually, mentally, physically.
That's great.
Healthily, like he's a good man.
That doesn't mean that he's the man for you. And
right.
Maybe when you're going through these motions of getting to know him, you're realizing, okay, he's a great person, but honestly, I don't fuck with his humor. Like, he could be funny, but he's not funny to me.
And that's why a lot of modern women are getting 40 with 4 cats and no man, because
maybe that's what
he's a good man, but because he's not funny, you gotta throw that out.
I don't want to live on this planet anymore.
Well, at least not this side of it. Essentially, women use the term ick because it's the only thing that allows them to harbor dignity when Chatter Tyrone hands them a goodie bag and shuts the door. In the West, women no longer feel shame because it has effectively been bred out of them. Oh, you bedded 5 guys in one night? Way to hustle, girl. Get what's yours. You were underqualified for a position, but you got the corner office because corporate needed to save face? Look at that. You're a boss, babe. You had 3 kids with this dude and he's paying all the bills? Dump that guy. He's clearly holding you back from your full potential. Put it simply, women no longer believe they have to bring anything to the table. They masquerade as the new and improved man because the system has lowered the bar so low that anyone can get a trophy, as long as they mention the supposedly evil patriarchy as an adversary. They're essentially propaganda drones, listing off the same tired bullet points. And this is the result.
If NASA says it's too hot to go to the sun, then why don't we go at night when the sun turns off? Here's the twist. It'll be cold. Isn't that concerning?
Brilliant, Jonathan. Brilliant.
So does the wage gap exist?
I just think you're brainwashed.
Something? You think I'm brainwashed?
I think that there is a lot of expectations for women to behave a certain way.
Are there not expectations for men to behave a certain way too?
Yes, there are.
I would almost argue it's easier to start a business in America as a woman. You have preferential treatment when it comes to loans, preferential hiring processes. Literally just because you're a woman, women are the majority of college graduates. Life being a woman, I feel like in some ways kind of life on easy mode if you play into the corporate structure. They literally have empowerment programs that they don't allow men, let alone straight white men in. There's literally a multi-billion-dollar corporate push to empower women. You know, you think I'm brainwashed, you can think that, but you also espouse an ideology that you can't even give me literally one example why you actually believe it, let alone define it, but you just slap that label on because that's what mainstream society's told you to believe. So I think you're actually the one who's brainwashed.
I'm brainwashed.
Girl, you are so based.
Thank you.
One drunk man is more intelligent than 3 women with PhDs.
Thank you so much.
That's
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
Boom. Got him. Seriously, just take a look at the headline here published by People titled, Gwyneth Paltrow doubles down on the goop vagina candle being a feminist statement. There are literal paragraphs of this chick describing the product as punk rock or powerful, arguing that this obvious marketing ploy is the manifestation of female greatness. So what if I did this? Picture I just finished a major role in a motion picture as a motorcycle renegade or something. I walk into a lab, drop my pants, and get some chemists to swab my nethers and tell them to make a fragrance out of it. They come back with a lotion called Motor Musk, and then bring a bunch of people into a boardroom to discuss the game plan, explaining to them that guys have been misunderstood, and the only way to reclaim what's ours is to rub it on your face every day. In the end, no rational aggregate would come back into the room to tell me it's the best thing since sliced bread. In fact, they'd probably call the cops and press to make sure I never work again. And that's the point. They'd be right to do so because I should be ashamed of what I foolishly attempted to unleash upon this world. Meanwhile, Paltrow and others are making butt molds and gynocentric fragrances, only to be paraded around like they just found the cure for cancer. Which brings us to one of the primary sources of this shameless Western woman, delusion.
Charlie's my dead cat. She's inside of Owen right now.
What kind of jobs have you been applying for?
I wasn't doing like retail or fast food for
Okay,
sure.
why? Because that's the one industry that literally anyone can get a job today. That's not where I want you to work, but if we've ran out of our savings and we can't afford to survive, I think we're taking a paycheck from anywhere because any paycheck is more than $0.
I didn't want to work at a retail or
Okay,
fast food.
and that's a childish
And it is,
choice.
but see, even
Because you have a
when-
kid to take care of.
Caleb, quit interrupting me, please.
Do you accept that you're wrong for that? Any money, $15 an hour for 40 hours a week is congratulations, more money than $0 when we can't afford to live. If you have no money and you're not getting unemployment or food stamps, you need money, which requires work, which might be at a job you do not like. You agree?
I don't. But we're just gonna keep arguing. Why does it matter?
But
if
I
don't
want to hear
agree?
how you do not agree. How do you not agree that $1 is better than $0? How? Because if your maturity level is not there, then what's even the point of the conversation then going forward?
Ah, yes, the point. About 5+ times a week, I see this question tossed around in one form or another. If you're not able to wake up and hear the music, what's the point of us even having a conversation? Well, in our opinion, outside of entertainment value, there isn't one. It is an elusive carrot these chicks continue to dangle, all in an attempt to get males to walk away from the primary objectives, strength and opportunity. So many simpish elites, with no knowledge of how an economy, or the civilizations that cradle them, actually function, gather around the proverbial fire to ask women what the point is to this behavior. In the end, no real answer is ever found. And yet, billions are pumped into a machine that just pumps out hot air. Why? Because this is the feminist game in a nutshell. Complain about nothing and demand financial compensation for, you guessed it, nothing. For almost a century, this kind of ruse actually worked on some level. It was a long con, fueled by the reliability of women who actually knew how to hold a spatula and change a diaper. Women who felt responsibility for keeping the house together and felt shame when it fell apart on their watch. So what made men finally wake up? What made men realize that the box wrapped in a pretty bow was empty? Well, here's a gem of an example right here.
Hi.
Do we need men?
I don't need a man.
You don't need a man?
No.
Do we need men?
No, we don't.
Do we need men?
No, we do. We do.
Do we need men?
What?
Do we need men?
No.
Do we need men?
No.
Do we need chips?
We need chips. No men. Men don't need to live. We're fine.
We need chips. We need men.
Sorry?
Do we need men?
We need what?
Men.
Yes.
Do we need men?
Do what?
Do we need men?
I don't think so.
Do we need men?
Huh?
Do we need men?
No.
No.
Do we need men?
Do we need men?
No.
Do we need a man?
I don't need a man. I don't need a man.
Do we need a man?
Not really.
Okay.
We don't need them, but it's nice to have them sometimes.
Do we need a man?
Men? No, not really.
Why not?
I don't need them.
Do we need women?
What?
Do we need women?
Yeah.
Do we need women?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And then the bears come. I think we all needed a quick laugh. Also, it's the perfect metaphor for everything that's happening here. In more ways than one, the encouragement of this pro-female rhetoric is humanity's greatest bit of irony. The more men build a civilization safe from harm, the more women convince themselves they're stronger without masculinity. A power that strives for excellence and uses accountability to literally reach the stars. Almost every single Western woman in the interview clip said they don't need no man, while wearing materials first produced by men, eating chips made by men, walking on sidewalks and roads made by men, on their way to warm beds and shelters, again, you guessed it, made by men. The prevalent bear question circulating today, and the naive answer that follows, show what happens to a woman when they aren't confronted with any semblance of valuable shame for decades. Without it, they now look at the bear, or the wilderness that men have since conquered, as they look at Simba in The Lion King. It's not real to them anymore. It's as threatening as the stuffed replica they'd sleep with after being tucked in on a cold winter night. Men are really good at building a society defended from harm. And I mean really good. We were so effective in this pursuit that Western women were able to bake cookies and pour tea without being humbled by a tank of an animal laying waste to their evening protest. Perhaps the greatest paradox of civilization is that, without sexual restraints, these chicks are just as insulated from common sense as they are from the unforgiving forces of nature, allowing them to perform the kind of clumsy mental gymnastics that you see here.
Men do not take accountability, ever. Ever. Anytime a girl says anything to a guy like, hey, I think men should do something different, they're like, oh, you just date the wrong men. Is this a global problem? Like, if women are all having a collective experience and saying the same things about men who also don't go to therapy, it's always men that anytime I say an issue that women have, they always turn it back on themselves.
Yeah. What is the thing we need to take accountability for that we're not taking accountability for?
I think men have a tendency to... I think men and Rolo.
For example?
Hold on.
Error. Why should men believe that women will submit in a relationship if they won't even submit in an argument?
Because in an argument, you're not really thinking clearly, I guess.
Right. Like us as women, we react off of emotions. So sometimes we do say things out that we just truly don't mean. Yeah. So
a lot of the times when a woman doesn't want to feel like she's wrong, she'll say something to play against a man, or she'll try to change it up because she knows she's wrong. Like, she won't admit to like her issues, her problems. So how are you supposed to fix a relationship? A man should not be expected to submit to a woman who can't even take a wrong in an argument.
The last one was the closest. So let's start there. There is no reason why a man should submit to a woman who can't admit fault. But there's another obvious side to this that they continue to miss. Completing the thought, men shouldn't be expected to submit at all. I mean, what is there to submit to? Submission is the action or fact of accepting or yielding to a superior force or to the will or authority of another person. Ladies, there has never been a point in history where you have been superior. This is why you continue to be pumped out of college without knowledge of how the sun works, how to do basic finances, and how to run a business without male assistance. It's the same reason you think you can tickle a 600-pound grizzly bear and live to tell the tale. Life as a modern woman is like being a 5-year-old wobbling on a tricycle, except now nobody is allowed to teach you how to move on the two-wheeler. After all, that would involve falling down a few times and feeling the shame that pushes one to get up and try their best to be better. Men, we've been dealing with the struggle our entire lives. Nobody has given us handouts for how we look. Nobody has given us a scholarship for fighting ghosts. Nobody is helping our businesses grow after stripping on a pole. Nobody has given us millions of dollars for bottling our fragrances. Most importantly, nobody is shielding us from shame, the guiding force from which all of our weaknesses are exposed and all our strengths are realized. With that, here's something for your trouble.
The Kipling poem it's one of my favorites. My father read it to me once. To me as a little boy, it summed up what a man should be. If you can keep your head when all about you are losing theirs and blaming it on you, if you can trust yourself when all men doubt you, but make allowances for their doubting too, if you can dream and not make dreams your master, if you can meet with triumph and disaster and treat those two impostors just the same, or watch the things you gave your life for broken and stoop and build them up with worn out tools, if you can make one heap of all your winnings and risk it on one turn of pitch and toss and lose and start again at the beginning and never breathe a word about your loss, if you can force your heart and nerve and sinew to serve your turn long after they are done, and so hold on when there is nothing in you except the will which says to them, hold on. Yours is the earth and everything that's in it, and which is more, you'll be a man, my son.
Gentlemen, the world is yours, and it always has been. You carry the legacy of men who understood the value that comes from a lesson learned, no matter how painful it might be. Luckily, this particular lesson isn't that hard to grasp, nor is it one that you have to struggle to find. All you have to do is refuse to carry the shame that they brought upon themselves. After all, after the facts are laid out before you, it is a shame that they alone created. One that, when presented, continues to fall on deaf ears. Instead, focus on your own life and figure out where to go from there. Our environment is one that is unforgiving and comes with consequences. You know that, and if you're the kind of man who finds their way to a channel like this, I have no doubt you'll make the most of it.
As always, I wish you tremendous success. Now it's your turn. What do you think? Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Remember that if you leave the best comment, you'll get $5. Thank you so much for watching. If you found value in this video, hit the like and subscribe buttons, ring the notification bell so you don't miss out on future uploads, drop a comment, and share it. See you in the next video. Till next time.